we're going to go over Exodus chapter 14 as an overview, and then we're going to hit chapter 15. So I'm actually going to pull up my sheet for Exodus chapter 14 for the review, because we always go over the previous teaching. So again, we left off March the 19th of chapter 14. So I divided chapter 14 key points in two ways. One, Pharaoh pursues Jehovah's people, and splitting of the Red Sea. So the first one we're going to address, Pharaoh pursues Jehovah's people. Now, the Father, the Lord of war, which you will learn more about today, set up Egypt for the final judgment. Because remember, he's hardened Pharaoh's heart. They wonder why we let these people go. So now they are pursuing the children of Israel and those who joined in with them, the whole mixed multitude. So they are beginning to see 600 chariots come their way. Of course, there is some fear that's coming up. But the children of Israel turned to Moses and forgot about all the things that the Father have already done. Remember the 10 plagues? They totally forgot about that. That's how they set free. They totally forgot that Egypt gave them all of their some jewels, some clothing. So they plundered Egypt. They totally forgot about those things. So what did they say? They went against Moses and says, didn't I tell you to leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians? So now they're sorrowful and afraid because the chariots are coming. And so they was telling Moses, leave me alone. I told you, leave me alone. But of course they left. If they really wanted to be left alone, they wouldn't have left. So the second part is splitting the Red Sea. So we have these two walls of water. This amazes me. Two walls of water on both sides. And there is dry, the seafloor is dry for the children of Israel to walk on. We have over 600,000 people. We got 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. Of course, we have the cattle that's come along with them. Why this is happening? Once the children of Israel got across, all the waters came down, and the water covered all the chariots. Those 600 chariots was destroyed, along with everyone that was on those chariots. Every warrior was destroyed at that moment. So my application, my insight, the children of Israel no longer had to look over their shoulders because Egypt was done. At least that Pharaoh, at least those warriors. They was no longer have to worry about them coming after them. That was done and it was over with. And of course, in chapter 14 alone, if you take a look at the word study, salvation, that's important to understand. In the Old Testament, the Tanakh, salvation means Yeshua. But when we get into the New Testament, the Brit Hadashah, the meaning of salvation seems to change. I truly believe it's changed because of society. Many of the work, every time we get an upgrade of Bibles and changes and things like that, those Bibles are translated in the language of its time, which means the meaning of words could change according to its time. So salvation in the New Testament, the Brit Hadashah, has changed from the word, from Yeshua's actual name. So it's important to understand those type of things. And of course, we looked up the word angel and the word wind. Out of that, my insight is that in chapter 14, we have the Holy Spirit, we have Yeshua, and we have the Father, all in this one chapter discussing about all these different persons. The Holy Spirit is the Spirit of Jehovah. So we have all this going on in chapter 14. I had no cross-reference and no questions from Exodus chapter 14